Hello, hello. Oh, so well, I have no idea what I'm doing, so don't worry about it too much. I am gonna figure this out as I go along, staying hydrated, and like most of what I'm doing. Oh wow, I'm tired today. Eventually, I'm gonna have some sort of an avatar or something. I'll have to get one with a nice beard though. Look at this thing. Get the oh, yeah. You gotta remember when you're staring at your camera that the it's backwards, so like a little white streak there. I like it. All right. Yeah, not like I haven't seen it before or anything, but so this is my first attempt at doing this sort of thing. Um, my name is Louis Archibald. If I forget and start saying other names, that's it's a pen name. Um, I've written The Hunt for Samuel Gray, and of course, my newest one is the short stories, stories to drink with you, short stories for long pours. Um, right now, I am working on a four-book series. I put all that in my intro video, and let's start with uh, what I'm actually doing. I am going to try not to stare at myself on the screen. That's just weird. Let's push one of these buttons, and maybe if I go and put this on my front page, I can just see if anybody's on my thing here. What do you think? Attempting to go live. All right, so I'm rambly anyway, so this is the type of thing. Um, this is the type of thing that was going to happen anyway. Now let's see, and I should just be able to talk all the time. Uh, oh, what's that? Live chat. Moderation helps everyone feel safe. Oh, yeah, no, I should not. Yeah, that's something I can worry about some other time. Where's this? Top fans. Uh, no. Okay. Sorry, I'm again haven't done this before, so just playing around. Where's this button? All right. So let me talk about why I got started with this particular project. It's try to maybe do something with that lighting. Yeah, later I'm gonna have a different setup. I've got one of those boom mics, but I got it set up someplace else right now. I like this headset. Kind of blocks out all the noise and whatnot. I'll probably do other ones in a different room. This is dining room next to the kitchen. Hmm. So I was playing D&D with a guy named Dan who I'll eventually have to show this thing to. He's in some of the groups or something, so he might actually already see it. But guy named Dan, he was running a campaign, and I liked my character, but he paused the campaign probably due to COVID or the holidays or something to that normal, the normal types of things you end up pausing campaigns for. And I started to Jones for my character a little bit. I was really enjoying playing him, so I started writing a little thing, and um that was Rat. But Rat isn't anything like he was in the campaign. The campaign Rat was a D&D character. He wasn't the main character. He wasn't the story wasn't supposed to be about him. Of course, the DM didn't know all of the hooks I was trying to put in with the description or like the little things, the little hanging things, because he was writing his story. My character was a character in his story. I started writing my story to add to it. And when I started writing, it was just supposed to be Rat's story, like just maybe a short story or just a little bit to it. But the more I wrote, the more I started to like it, and then I wanted to do more things with it, and eventually it became a four-book set all happening at the same time, um, which turns out is really confusing to write. So there's a few things that I did to start that if I knew going into it that I was going to be doing what I ended up doing, I would have done completely different. First of all, I didn't start with a map. Um, I so all the places I start with in the beginning are just kind of willy nilly and like so much distance or whatever, and I'm gonna have to fix that in editing. I still don't have a character bible. That's gonna be the first thing I do with editing. So right now, when I'm writing, I'm on the third book. When I'm writing in that, when I start getting to the places that happen in the other books, and I'm like, okay, well, who was involved here? I have to reread that whole thing. Not that I mind rereading it, but I have to reread it. It's it is a little cringy to read your own work though. So, but yeah, um, and fish out the details, and then write the thing, and then be like, now these two things don't go together, so I have to go back to the other one, and we're part of that. And that's why I've put off a lot of the editing because when I wrote Dusted, which is the first one, um, I finished Dusted and I started editing it first. I was going to get uh, a good bit of the editing done, but I don't like editing. It's not my favorite thing. So as I was doing it, I was like, I'm going to get started on Destined. Um, and within the first few chapters, I was like, oh yeah, no, Rat would have noticed this if this is what happened with Zargana. So then I had to go back and change some things just to make sure everything fit up and lined up and whatnot. Which that meant all the stuff that I just edited that I now had to change. I just did all that editing work for absolutely nothing because the stuff that was edited doesn't. It's not even in the book. I just threw it away. Um, so that's why I waited on that. Now I'm still going to be writing more than editing because where I am right now, um, the first three books all happen at exactly the same time, give or take. Like the same time frame. Uh, the last book starts in the middle, and then it contains the end of the story. The other books have they have a satisfying end. They get to the end of those stories, but the fourth one kind of continues to more the end of the whole story, if that makes any sense at all. Um, yeah. So right now I have enough that I can edit the first 40, maybe 50 chapters of Dusted, 40 or 50 chapters of Defiled, and everything I've written so far in yeah, Dusted, Defiled. Of course, it's the one I'm writing right now that I can't remember the name of. No, it's Dustin Destined and Defiled. Destined is the Defiled is the one I'm writing now. I'm gonna blame hydration. Cheers. Remind me next time to put some vodka in that or something. Like just give it a little extra kick. Anyway, yeah. So because I've got to before I can finish doing it though, I have to have the other half of Defiled written and at least the first half of Descended, which is going to be the last book. It's not much of a spoiler to tell you the title of the last book, just because it starts in the middle. I don't want to tell you who the character is until after the first book is out, and then whoever really cared would have kind of figured that part out. They at least know who that character is. It doesn't make much sense to explain who the character is and why they're in the story uh, until people have actually gotten to that part of the story. All right, so because of that, I've got about let's see, I probably have about 30,000 words left on the one I'm doing, and then I've got um the other one's probably going to be somewhere between 80 and 100,000. But I only have to do the first half, so it'll probably be 40,000 before I've got everything written to do enough to publish the first books. I'm expecting to be able to do that um, sometime this spring. I'm going to tentatively say I would like to have that done around April. You know, spring, August, right? That's good, Alvin. But yeah, now keep in mind I've been about a year before. I've been a year away from publishing something for a while now, so it's both like saying, okay, I'm 4 months, yeah, 4 months away. It's a big jump, but last year I said I was going to have something by October, so I'm closer than I've ever been. Of course, that's how it works, but I wouldn't trust me. It's hard to predict these things because there are some weeks where I sit and I can write 4 or 5 chapters in a week, and I can just nail them out. And most of the time, I'm doing two, maybe three in a week. Uh, and then there's been a few times where I just can't write. It takes me a couple of weeks to do one chapter. Um, so the plan right now, I'm going to be. Uh, but let me start with the editing process first. I'm going to start with editing a dusted. Uh, I'll probably start this weekend. I'll do a little bit of it. Uh, Actually, no, I'm going to do the first thing of it today. What I need to do, the first thing I need to do, like, because I have the shape of the story, I have the rough draft done. I know where everything's going. I know most of what's going on, but I don't have that reference that I can go to and be like, all right, I need to make sure that what's happening here in the first part of the story is still what's happening here in the end of the story. Um, because I didn't start writing it with the intent of writing as much as I'm writing into it. Um, so I'm just kind of doing it backwards, like because I didn't plan for this. I'm writing the skeleton after I've written the whole body, But um, what I'm planning on doing is taking each chapter one at a time, throwing it through uh, probably use ChatGPT to just have it pick out every character, give me the names of all the characters, the places, and stuff like that. So just to see how that works. Um, let's see. All right. So first, I need to open up the ChatGPT. My ChatGPT. I told it to name itself, and it named itself Luna. It took arguing to get it to do that, though. I'll open it in my Dusted project, and then I am going to have to open up Dusted. Uh, no, this isn't the computer. The laptop I'm doing this on with the webcam. I have another webcam that I'm going to use too some other time. This is more of a proof of concept for myself. But anyway, um, the computer I usually do this on is a different computer. This is there's chapter 2. Come on. This My computers are set up so they can remote into each other. So I can remote into my home computer. My well, they're all home computers. I can remote into my main computer there and copy what I need. So I'm just gonna do one chapter today here. Uh, then go back to this and say, need you to uh, pull out, or how about to give me a list of every character, every place, and every distance mentioned in this chapter. And we'll just give them chapter one. I will later be reading these chapters after I get to that part of the editing, because the last step of my editing is going to be live, like reading out loud, uh, because a lot of the problems I have, I will be able to find a lot easier when I'm reading them out loud. I've noticed. All right, so I'll just give you the breakdown here that I'm going to be using for the thing later. Uh, First character in chapter one is, of course, Rat, the protagonist. Uh, he's the he's demon-blooded, gray skin and horns, red glowing eyes when threatened, and struggles with addiction, particularly dust. Surge is his friend, whose place he's watching. Jack. Now, Jack is a little funny. Jack's name was not supposed to be Jack. I made Jack as a placeholder because I was like, okay, this has got to be a guy, and instead of finding a name generator or like just bouncing names until something stuck, I wanted to keep writing. So it's like, yeah, Jack works. I just put Jack down, and then as I started to write, he's Jack. Like if you read it, you'll his name has to be Jack. That's I don't know if it's because I named him Jack that he became Jack, or if he was just always going to be Jack. But yeah, then Regis, Reggie and Portis are two of Jack's buddies. Valerie uh, runs the bar that Rat hangs out at, and Maribeth. Uh, the places listed so far are Surge's Place, the Bell Tower, and Times Square in Valhalla. Uh, the mine is a couple hours away from Surge's Place, and the main square doesn't have a distance. That's because they're in the same town. Uh, so, hey, Jasmine. Uh, if I'm reading these right, there were people here earlier, but I think I got them. I chased them away with my rambling. Let's see. I doubt I chased them away. I think they just. I don't know who they were. I wasn't really expecting anybody to actually join live. Um, but yeah, I let's see. So my writing plan with this is going to be um, after I'm trying to get the first one done probably around April. Then I think at that point, because I won't have to do any more writing, it'll just be all editing at that point, and I'll have the momentum. So I think I'll then get uh, Descent. No, not Descended. Descended's last. I won't be done writing Descended yet. The next one I'll be doing is going to be Destined. Destined will be done. I can't imagine it'll take me more than like 4 months to do all the editing on it. Um, so again, take these things with a grain of salt. I've been a year away for like a year and a half. um, then let's see. After that, we got. I'll probably put out another short story book. I've got two ideas for that. Um, but I'll get into that more. There's I'm thinking about using the short stories as like a series of short stories that tell the same story, and do that as a lead in for my sci-fi project that I'll do at some point in my life, or doing something else like short stories, the stories that drink with you. Um, then I'll do Defiled, and by that point, I should definitely have the last one written and be able to edit that. So if everything goes anywhere near okay, in the next 2 years, I should have 5 more books. Uh, fairy tales, fairy tales. That's true. Fairy tales is going to be. I don't know if fairy tales is going to be the next short story one, or if after I get done this, I'll make another short story one for fairy tales. I did promise to do fairy tales. I will. Uh, I also might just do a short story, like short stories for the fairy tales that don't make it into a book for a while. Let some of these sit. Um, but yeah, all right. And that about brings me up to date. I'm probably gonna do a live kind of what's my status um on my projects once a week or so. Uh, so I guess I should probably make sure I've stated exactly where I am right now. I am at I'm at the very beginning of chapter 54 in uh, Defiled. My chapters are usually about 1,000 words or so. Oh, let me see. I know Dusted is about 93,000 words, and it is. Where are you? Dusted, Dusted, Dusted. Okay, I should definitely cheat. Do, 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 do. Give me just a minute here. Yeah, I forgot that I don't actually. I use a different account, so I can just kind of. Ooh, I better mute myself, but I can just watch myself with a different thing. Um, that would be weird to just hear myself, so I'll just minimize that. Let's see. And I must be losing my mind. I forgot what I was doing for a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Dusted, and that's my other thing, and see how many chapters there are. I almost accidentally read the last line out loud. What, chapter 73? I thought I had a little more than that. Chapter 74. It looks like somewhere along the line the page breaks between chapters got knocked out here. So chapter 75, chapter 76. Chapter 7, yeah, there's 76 chapters and 93,000. So a little more than a thousand per word. Uh, yeah. Yeah, no, see, now that I'm watching myself on my other account, I have 2 followers. But yeah, I will. Yeah, I have 76 chapters on that one, and I'm at 54, 75 per word. I got about so 75 what per word? I've got but yeah, I'm at. I haven't checked how many words I'm in the other one. I'm probably at about like 56, 57,000 on Defiled. Also, the first few chapters of Dusted are a little bit longer than the chapters of everything else. I mean, they're not. They're probably not the longest chapters I wrote, but they're probably the first chapter of Dusted is top 10, at least top 15 longest chapters. I said, oh, per word. Yeah, 1,000 words per chapter about. Uh, 100 words per word, and I'm trying to go for infinite. All right, well, I think I'm about. I think that should do it for me. Um, I can ramble forever, but I probably shouldn't. Uh, Got to leave myself something for next time. Uh, well, thank you for watching, especially you, Jasmine, but also anybody who joins later. I'm gonna check later to see if there's any uh, questions or comments about stuff. And I think I'm gonna try to finish chapter 54 tonight. I just started it, so I might not be able to get past like half of it. Um, I'm hoping like the next couple that I do here are probably just going to be updates. Like they'll be kind of quick. It'll just be like, hey, this is where I am. This is what I'm doing. But in a few weeks here, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to give you some like full chapter reads, or probably the first one will just be me like fighting through a chapter read, and then I'll clean one up afterwards. Uh, is there anything else you'd like me to do with these? Maybe you mentioned fairy tales. I'll probably end up doing a couple short stories. It takes me about a day to write a short story, so there'll be a few times where I do stuff like that. But I had like a lot of my prep time and like when I'm starting to write is done while I'm driving. I'll just kind of record myself or yell at ChatGPT and then cut it off before it talks. Character art. My art is horrible. If I'm doing drawing and whatnot, like it's gonna look like a preschooler. Well, maybe not preschool. It'll look like a grade schooler wrote it. Um, it's like I can get the AI art like everybody else does, but um, I don't know. I think that's cheating for now. Hire someone. If I could hire somebody, I'd be hiring them to do editing. I really don't like the editing process. Um, I definitely don't have that style resources. Said everybody like uh on Discord, it seems like yeah, fair enough. Discord, it seems like every other day somebody is well, not every other day, like at least once or twice a month, somebody messages me out of the blue and says hi, and I talk to them and they're like, "Hey, do you want to commission some artwork?" And the artwork they showed me that I'm commissioning is obviously AI artwork. Like I'm like, uh, no, I didn't want to commission artwork anyway, but I definitely don't want to just commission somebody to throw something in an AI filter. I can do that myself. Uh, but yeah, I did spend entirely too much on commissioning the artwork for my first book. I still haven't made that much money back, so I might end up just uh, doing something else with that. But you know, who knows? Also, my daughter is pretty artistic, so if I do decide to kind of hit somebody up, I might give her a pass at it. She hasn't read any of my stuff yet, so it, I think the first edition is just going to be something weird. Like the freaking the stories to drink with you. Um, that one was an AI. Uh, kind of borrowed from Jeremiah was a bullfrog, just because I put a bullfrog in a cup of whiskey. But um, probably the first edition of the books, you're gonna have titles like that. I don't want it to look like everybody else's because everybody's doing like the bold, excited font thing, and I do have some of that going in stories to drink with you, but I kind of want it to be its own thing. We'll see. I got some time to think about that. The other thing I have to think about is I have to name the series. I have got the names of the books. They're all one word, one D word. Dusted, defiled, destined, and descended. Destined and descended sound pretty close, but it's fine. But I should have like a. There's already a Chronicles of the Damned, which would have worked. But Chronicles of the Damned is a vampire series, and I don't really want to be associated with vampires anyway. There's no vampires in this thing. Not because I don't like vampires. Vampires are great. Like they're a great story element. But whenever you hear there's a vampire story, you're expecting a certain type of story. And I'm not writing that. Like it's just not what I'm writing. I, maybe I'll do a short story with vampires or something. Not for a while though. But yeah, yeah, I think I'm proving I can just talk forever, and it's hard for me to shut up. Let's see. But yeah, I've got a couple of sci-fi books I want to write after I do these series, and then I've got to figure out what I'm doing next. But at this point, I've got like how many did I get through there? Uh, if I just do two sci-fi and two short stories, I've got these. So that puts me up at 8 books. I should probably ease up on trying to get new plans until I've at least written some of these out. Huh? All right, Jasmine. I think I am going to let this one go. Uh, and for now, I think I'm just going to randomly do this every now and then just to give updates on where I am. The next thing I post is probably going to be a short story. I might write a new one for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to write a new one or if I'm just going to read one of the ones I already have. Um, I think it'll depend on how this weekend goes. But with the holiday coming up, I show some extra time, so I'll probably do a new one in that thing. Anyway, bye. Uh, I think I'm supposed to tell you to like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff. So those things. Have a good one.